Quick turnaround, big week for us. Obviously going and playing against a very talented Kentucky team that's playing awful well. They played a team we played recently, Auburn, and really just took it to them. And I was watching the game earlier this week where they played LSU, and of course we had an opportunity to play LSU as well, and LSU won it and stole one. And so I think if there's anything, there's a recipe for having an opportunity to go in there and play against a team that's playing well in Kentucky. You got to shoot the ball well. They made some timely shots, got to the free throw line. And they rebound the basketball. You got to be able to rebound the basketball. So those are some of the things we've got to do. And B.J. Washington's playing really well. Very good basketball player. The hero kid is a guy that can shoot the basketball. But I think the key to their basketball team, the guy that kind of runs the show is the Higgins kid. He's one of the leading, I think, thieves in terms of steals in the SEC and distributing the basketball. But they got depth, they got size, and obviously they're playing hard. And they're playing at home and they're playing well. So it's a big challenge for us, but I think it's a great opportunity going in there. There's no pressure on us. Everyone expects us to go in there, but with our guys, we just got to put 40 minutes together. That's the biggest key. He's shooting the ball well, and one of the areas I'm really concerned that we've got to get better at is taking care of the basketball, especially going down the stretch. Every game we've played here recently, we're in position to close the game out, but then the turnovers that lead to baskets for the opponents. We've got to do a better job of really taking care of the basketball. And that's something we value. We really put a lot of stock and value in, creating turnovers, but valuing the basketball. So why that's occurring, that's a possible combination of things, Fatigue could be a factor in that, but just making bad decisions. And you got to make plays. You got to make shots. You got to make plays. You got to get to the free throw line. So it's a great opportunity. It's a great challenge, but it's a great opportunity.
Mike, you alluded to, the Kentucky took it to Auburn. Auburn took it to you guys. So those are the last two games. On paper, it just looks like a real mismatch. And you said everybody expects, but then you didn't finish the thought. What do you think?
I just think, number one, every game is so different. It's so different, So I think every game has its own characteristics. So a lot of people will compare scores, and obviously that's what you got. You got stats in front of you, but but when you go and play the game, it's 0-0, and you hope you go and play some of your best basketball. One of your better games for 40 minutes. I think that's so that's my mindset. That's going to be our team's mindset.
And you said everybody else expects, but then you didn't say what they. I think I know what you mean, but I don't want to.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Going in, obviously, you look at the lines or whatever it is. It's going to say Kentucky. Kentucky, they playing at home, and rightly so. They're playing well. They're one of the top. I think they're in the top 10, top 5, maybe. I don't know. Number 4, but they're playing awful well. So when you look at it on paper, obviously, and we hadn't been playing our best basketball. So there you have it. But at the same time, the game's played. It's another game in the SEC play.
Well, what gives you the confidence you guys could go in there and make it a game?
Well, I think we just go play. I think play basketball. I think it's a team we hadn't played this year, and obviously again, sometimes when you sometimes teams bring the best out of you, so we'll see.
Mike, Saturday, you mentioned that A&M was a little bit tougher than you guys were. How do you get the guys to play with kind of an edge, especially on the glass?
Well, it's funny because we've done it this year. We've done it. We went and played some really physical basketball team. And I think that's what's going to happen, the physicality. I think that's where the guards got to kick in and help us rebound. There are times when Daniel's not around the basket or Gabe's not in the game or Adriel, where our guards are going to have to get in there. And like I said, rebounding to me is all about the effort and anticipating and getting in there. And you're going to get some battle scars. You're going to get some cuts, some elbows and all that stuff. But you got to be able to go in there and push people out of there. That's what they're doing to us. So I think it's got to be a collective effort. I think when we're at our best, our guards are rebounding, the guys that are coming off the bench is giving us, to me, it's all about maximum effort from everybody out there on that floor.
As far as your Starting lineup, you think, will you go back with Sills and Gabe, and what's kind of Mason Jones? Where does he fit?
We'll see what happens today in practice. I'm just kind of going off from what they're bringing to the table each and every day, and in practice.
Yeah, Mike, I know you played at some tough places like Tennessee and LSU and Texas Tech, but Rupp Arena, I mean, you've been there a lot. You know what it's like, but I think Adriel may be the only guy on this team that's ever played there, and it was just a couple of minutes. Do you worry about the intimidation factor? Because Rupp's just kind of on a different level from most places.
I think the places we've been, you just alluded to, I think those places are especially, it's one thing the place, but it's also the teams too, and how they're playing. We went in and played Tennessee. They were arguably playing some of their better basketball. We played Texas Tech. We see where Texas Tech, they're in the top 5 as well. And so I think those games have got to be lead-ins as we get ready to go up and play against Kentucky. They're playing well. It's a great atmosphere. And if you're a ball player, you want to play in that kind of atmosphere. And so one of the things I know we're going to, in our mind, we all we got. So hopefully they'll give us an opportunity to come together. Times we play well on the road. LSU had a pretty good environment there. Our guys play well. So the biggest key is, getting off to a good start, and you got to make shots, Bob. You got to make shots. You got to take care of the basketball. Got to get to the free throw line as much as they do. So that being said, obviously, when you talk about Arkansas and Kentucky, they've had some great ball games over the time we've been in the SEC. Some great ball games, as a matter of fact.
Gafford, and it seemed like the second half the other day where you all really got it spaced right for him. How big a factor is that, and just in getting getting inside to him?
Well, I think it's important. I thought even in the game, but we start off the game, he got those guys in foul trouble. It was bang bang. We did a good job of getting in there. I thought there were times he was off balance where he didn't score in the first half. I thought in the second half he was much more on balance. So I think the intent of getting the ball to him is there. Obviously he's got to make good decisions once he gets it. But he's got to be able to go up strong and be on balance and finish. And there'll be times where it's coming to him, but they coming at him. He's got to be able to make the clean, the simple pass out of those double teams that are coming at him.
Say to your team, if anything, to kind of get through this slump mentally, and to hold on to the rope for the rest of the season? Well,
I think more importantly, it's not like they're out there fighting and giving everything. They got to finish. I think that's the biggest key. You look at the game, even the A&M game. I don't think they let go of the rope. It's a 3-point game with 3 minutes to go. As a matter of fact, it's 64-62. We got the basketball with opportunity to score. And we've got to be able to finish, and I think that's got to be the biggest key. And how do we do that? We got to be able to make plays. We got to be able to execute. You can't have those bad turnovers at the wrong time. We got to get the ball to the right people, and they got to be able to make plays. I think when we do that, then I think you'll see us. It's like we're getting to the line now. We got to finish. We got to get the finish, and so. But I don't see no quitting these guys. I think that's if you're talking about letting go of the rope, they hadn't done that. And I think even as we will practice today, you'll see a team that's going to go out. They're going to fight. Like I said, they might not be where I want them to be at right now, but they're going to fight and scratch and claw.
I guess Travis Reed didn't play the other day against Auburn. I'm not sure what his status is, but it didn't seem to bother Kentucky too much not to have him. What do you think about how they played without one of their starters, and would you anticipate him playing? Or?
Well, of course, he gives them a big, a size guy that's a senior. I guess he's a graduate player that played at Stanford. But they got other guys coming off the bench that's playing well for them. You got the Richards kid that's playing, and the Montgomery kid. All of a sudden, it's like next man up. And so they've got so much depth that, so obviously they continue to play at a high level. And the guards are playing well. And, of course, you got P.J. playing really, really well, a really good basketball player.
Yeah, what's impressive about Washington is he's kind of that rarity, Kentucky, a guy that came back for his sophomore year, and he seems like he's really taken his game.
I think he's developed. I think over the period of time, it's just, he's just continued to develop. Last year he was more power right around the basket, scored, and now I think he's stepping out away from the basket now, and he's that guy. You know, he's a guy that's they're a veteran guy, and a lot of things go through him, especially when they need a score. So I just think, you know, he's a physical presence. He can put it on the floor. He just plays like a veteran player is what he does.
You know, a young team like Kentucky, they're obviously they've come a long way since getting blasted by Duke. Do you sort of feel like you're getting them at a bad time because they seem like they're finally putting it all together?
Well, it's that time of the year, Bob. You know, I call it the grind time. This is the grind time, and I think, you know, our guys got to understand when it's grind time, that's what's got to take place. You got to dig a little deeper. You know, because a lot of teams, some of them, they really start putting it together, playing some of the better basketball, and hopefully we still got some good basketball left in us.
Anything else for Coach?
All right, thank you guys.